Okay. Looks like we're finally live. Late again. Only by about 16 minutes. Although I've been working on this for about 45 minutes. We were going to play Dune Awakening again, finally, but no problem with the server this time. It's just I wasn't aware that another client update went out. And apparently it was a good sized one because it was taking forever to install. So instead we're going to do this. We're going to play some Oxygen Not Included. I started playing this again last night just for kicks, and I don't know, that seems like there's a lot been going on with the game that I'm not familiar with, so I was looking forward to jumping back in and seeing what's changed, what's been added between these latest two DLCs and free add-ons, and yeah, so that's what we're doing today. We're just casually playing through some new Oxygen Not Included content. Okay, let's check YouTube. Should be up now. Yep. And yeah, I've got to stop. I've got a hard stop at 11 a.m. today, so an hour and 43 minutes from now, so that I can go pick up my daughter from cram school. Summer's officially started here in Taiwan, so we are. Bring it up. So yeah, so we're in our summer mode. There we go. Alright, so let's get into it, shall we? Oh, did I update the... Oh, it should be automatic now. Yep, that's good. We're already on day 62. Although I did fast forward through quite a few things. So this is a modded playthrough. There's a few things I should probably warn you about. I've got the insulated self-sealing airlock in here. So that's probably the most controversial of the mods that I've got installed. The rest of them are just quality of life mods like this massive zoom out and those sort of things. And the UI is a little bit too big. Yeah, I'm going to make the UI a little bit smaller. Normally I play in full 32:9 mode, but because the UI elements are always at the edge of the screen, there's really no good way to stream that. So for the stream, I'm playing in 16:9 to have everything on the screen, but the UI is a little bit too big for that. Let's bring it down to, let's see what 125 looks like. Okay, that should be fine. Right. So we're only up to 6 dupes. We should probably bring that up a little bit more. Oh, I do have another mod. I have a mod for the care package so that we can kind of rotate through randomly and pick a few things. And that's just to kind of simplify the things we get in case there's anything we really need. But usually what I do is I just sit through until I get some extra copper. Yeah. So here's where we're at now. We've got our starting, we're still in our starting phase. So simple lavatory, basically simple everything. Like this is our most complex sink so far. And it's not entirely hooked up because we haven't started to sanitize our plumbing yet. So what we need to do is get some chlorine in here to start sanitizing our polluted water because it's loaded with germs right now. 50,000 germs and counting. And this isn't even able to pipe through yet because the system is full on this first loop. Once the germ counters are in place, we'll have the logic to push the lower concentration polluted water into this one and the fully purified polluted water into this one, so that it's ready for conversion back into pure water and recycled back into our plumbing for the lavatory. Then we can update the sinks and the outhouses in here and get these showers up and running. So I think we're going to focus on that first. Well, I say first, but in order to do that, I mean, we could probably clear to this this pocket of chlorine to get us, at least get us started. But I don't think this is going to be enough to get this space completely up and running. All right, they're finally updated on this. So let's get this thing ready to start accepting chlorine. All right, so if we're going to go after this first, we're going to have to feed it in along this line. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have a bridge here to pull off of whatever line is going through here. And that'll route it into, into the reservoir we have here. And to start, we're going to expect the line to feed in from this side. Whoa. Come on. No. Come on. Get back in the hole. How did you do this? There we go. Okay. So that'll be the starting line for the chlorine. We'll pull from this first, and then once this is depleted, then we'll probably go after this spot next. We're going to have to clear all this soon and claim this uranium so that we can start building our power production down here. We have no coal generators or any other type of generator so far other than the manual generators, and that's just because I want a clean, more long-term design in place for our energy production and our energy conservation before we start to really lay down any sort of energy producers outside the manual generators. So this system is fed off of a manual generator here. This system is fed off of one, and then this rock crusher is fed off of one. And yeah, that's pretty much the start of a recurring theme. We're going to have like pockets of power consumers being fed by a single energy producer loop from every source of energy we can find. Starting with coal, which will be down here underneath the cistern that the well that we've created for all the water we've been able to claim from the various spots. This I haven't decided what we're going to do with yet. You can see what I've kind of plotted as far as its footprint, but I haven't finalized that yet. All right. So let's see if we can get them focused on this. Okay, so here's the care package mod. It's not actually a care package mod. It's just a blueprint mod that kind of lets you refresh multiple times. Actually, that might not be a mod at this point. It might just be more part of the game, but I don't remember unlimited refreshes like this before. And I've been playing with some of these mods so long, I don't really remember what's modded and what's not. All I know is I come back to the game after months of not playing and something breaks and it tells me all these mods are bad, and I have to kind of slowly, one by one, add the mods back until the game loads and I'm able to either reclaim the last saves I had or just start over with a new mod loadout. I haven't played with Bionic systems yet. That's new to me. There's a lot of new content in here. These pike apple bush seeds, I've never played with those before, so I'm assuming those are all new content. Overgrow node seed, but I don't want to just jump right in. I want to kind of ease myself in once I know I'm sustainable in my current form. So I haven't even seen this. So apparently this is, I've just got to the point where I can unlock this plume squash seed, or it's very rare, and I just haven't seen it yet. I've seen these new costumes though. Pufflets, those are old school. Snack fruit, new to me. Don't need dirt. Don't need brine. Rust. Fried, I don't know. Spores I might need eventually. Let's just grab the copper. Can never go wrong with more copper. Okay, let's figure out what we need as far as those two remaining dupes. So I think we're okay on food production. We're up to 56,000 kilocalories, so I'm assuming we're okay there. Stress is 0. Breathability is okay, but I'd like to see that closer to 75%. Let's keep this closing off. There's a lot of polluted oxygen here that I want to eventually get cleared out. I think we got everything in here, so we can tear this down. Okay. We still haven't started on this. Did I speed it up? I thought I did. Let's make it 8. Let's just make sure. What are my diggers prioritizing? Building, operating, and attacking. Ranching and farming has taken high priority. I'm fine with that though. And those are my only 2 diggers. So I probably need to take on at least 1 more digger. I think we're okay with builders. Probably could use some more life support. So really, I'd say the people supplying and storing, some of those should be focused on life support. So I'm going to set that for Abe. Nope, he's our cook. Let's say set it for Joshua. Why is Abe green? Where is Abe? He's got food poisoning. Why does he have food poisoning? Bristleberry and muckroot have food poisoning. So maybe I should move compost heap into yeah, maybe I should move the compost heap into the chlorine room. I've only got space for one. If we move this over, we'd get one more lane, but we need two more. Because of the way I have the germ sensors planned, we're not able to close this off any. I probably could have designed this a little bit better, but I wanted to space it out since I had this entire space assigned for the chlorine room. Okay, so it will take longer. I'm thinking I'm going to have the gas pump here, and it'll just claim whatever gases spread to this area once we crack into these pockets, which these are pure chlorine. It'll take longer because the gas does have to kind of spread out before the pump can claim it, and it'll have to pull a long time to completely purge all the gas from the furthest points, but it will get there eventually. Okay, we can up your priority. Yeah, I'm fine with that. We can always speed up time if it's not happening quickly enough. Wire. Okay. That's weird. Why isn't that? I'm slowly closing off this lavatory because I don't even think it counts as a lavatory right now. No, because it's too big. So once these last two tiles are claimed, this will be the right size and it'll become an official lavatory, and that'll improve the dupe morale. Or I guess it's not a lavatory yet, it's an outhouse. Or it will be an outhouse. It's a latrine. Okay, so it goes from latrine to washroom. All right. We need to raise the priority of this so these polluted water outputs don't sit too long. Okay. I don't want to make this space too big. Because that just increases the amount of space the gas can spread to before it reaches the pump, and that makes the pump's job even harder. I need at least 2 spaces just to clear this and get the dupes over to this side, and then they can just dig down this way. And we can add a airlock here. One thing I noticed is, let's check the schedule, is it spreads out your duplicates over multiple schedules now. And we don't have bath time yet. I want to see if bath time, yeah, I don't see bath time in there yet at all, but we don't have bath objects in place yet. We have them planned, but they haven't gotten around to building them yet. Sped up time by mistake. So I want to see, once these are up and running, if bath time automatically gets added to the schedule. I mean, this is not how I would create a schedule. I mean, it's pretty close. It is pretty close, but this is not how I'd spread things out. Well, without looking too deeply at the dupes, this is usually I'll start with 2 alternating schedules. So I'll have, like, the default schedule is what I'll call the daytime schedule, and then I'll create a completely opposite, meaning the downtime and the bedtimes are exactly 12 hours apart, whereas here they're only 6 hours apart, which eventually I get to those as well, but only after I've set up the daytime and the nighttime schedules first. Aside from that, this distribution is pretty fair, and so it's designed well enough that I'm fine letting the game do it for me. I'm just kind of surprised that they did this at all, that they took this kind of micromanagement out of your hands and did it for you, since this game is kind of designed around letting you control everything. All right, we got some skills to update. It's for Stinky, who is our farmer and rancher, and he's also a part-time digger. We're getting more and more into ranching, so I'm going to go ahead and have him follow that path. Okay. Let's speed things up a little bit. Yeah. We're definitely bringing on a new digger with the next print cycle. Okay, we're going to start focusing on clearing out. So I think what I'm going to do, this has served its purpose pretty much. But actually, yeah. Put a new deodorizer here. Put an airflow tile here. And run the power here. And let's prioritize that. Focus on construction. There we go. Okay, they started digging out. Want this to remain vacuum. So that means we can clear to here. Yeah. So we start building a ladder here. And then digging. Let's just dig to here first. Because sometimes they'll start to dig the next tile even before they finish building this tile. So if we dig out to here and they dig out this and they dig out this, they could create a air channel that allows gas into this vacuum. We want to make sure it remains vacuum until we reach the chlorine. Oh, the alarms are off by default as well. I remember that first alarm was always on by default, and I just never turned on any other alarms. So I'd still get those alarms every day, that first alarm every day. And it was just a part of the experience, but now it's I kind of miss it. You know what? We're going to turn that first one on again. Well, at least once, just to hear it once. Okay. So I want to get this started before I start working on this, because this is going to take a little bit more planning, especially since we have to clear hydrogen and chlorine. So the chlorine, we already know where that's going to go, and we should have enough space for it. Does that say 99? How is that 99,999? I don't think that's right. Is there a way to see the mods that are in place? No. Okay, I'm a little worried about that. We're going to keep playing, but I think I made a mistake. I don't know where that's coming from. I know that sounds like a cop-out, but I really don't. I was concerned with that. I used to have big storage mods installed, but like I said, when I started playing this last night, a lot of stuff was crashing. And one of the mods that fell off because of that, because it was likely causing the problem, was the big storage mod that I was using. But it wasn't this. It was like it just doubled. Like it gave you a second reservoir option that was double the space. It was more costly to produce. Whereas this uses copper ore. The double storage mod had a refined copper version that could hold twice the gas. And I used to have a custom recipe mod that I don't know if it's still here or not, or if it'll even work or not. But one of the things I liked to do to keep my power production as simple as possible and to keep my bases, as clean as possible is that once I had excess number of seeds, I would start to refine the seeds in kilns into coal. Minute, you know, handfuls of coal, but still a way to produce coal in such a way that I just realized I need to do the same thing here. I can't have that there yet. That we wouldn't have excess number of seeds lying around or waiting to be refined, and we'd have a little bit extra power production. So I don't know if that mod is still in place or not, but we'll see here in a minute. Oh, they can't get to that, can they? Let's prioritize clearing for that, and that should do it. Where's my compass on? And who's messaging me? Oh. All right, let's get our digger. What's happening? Okay, I'll get back to you later. All right, we need a good digger. Shall we try? I don't know enough about these guys yet. So it starts with a pre-installed suit training booster. Degrees cuisine, bionic bug, urbanite. So they seem to be just kind of the same thing as dupes. What makes them different? I assume they still need downtime and everything else. Do they need power? All right. I need to understand these guys a little bit more before I start jumping in that rabbit hole. So, diggers. We need diggers. Okay, we've got 2 here. Digging, tidying. He's a night owl. That's probably good. He's an ugly crier. Sparkle streaker. Decrease decor. I think we can do better. We don't need another doctor. And I'd rather avoid narcoleptics if I can. So let's take another look. No diggers there. No diggers there. Digging, rocketry, cooking. It's not bad, but it's not ideal. Increased husbandry, increased food morale. That's good. Small bladder. That's not so good. And with these stats, it'll take a long time for him to kind of be brought online with the other diggers anyway. He won't contribute much. This guy's got a digging booster. but it also has decreased excavation. It's like, I don't know enough about bionic systems, but that kind of cancels things out for me. Why would I want to put a digging booster on a Android or whatever these things are that has decreased excavation? That's just a return to normal. It's not an actual boon. Hey, Gino, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Digging and supplying, +4, that's not bad. Immune to chilly surroundings, that's interesting. Iron gut, immune to food poisoning, that's nice. Unpracticed artist, so he's got decreased creativity, and he's got an increased decor morale bonus. So that sounds more like an advantage than a disadvantage. We won't have him performing any sort of creativity or artistry, so that's good. Cannot do research. We don't want him doing research. I think this is our guy, Marie. Welcome to the fold. Let's set your priorities. Tidying, digging, supplying. But you're going to be focusing on digging for now. And you're going to be a first responder. Well, first defender. I would is more accurate. And for your first skill point, we're going straight into digging. Okay. So she should be helping out. Why haven't they gotten to this yet? Oh, let's set that priority higher. We're going to keep all of these high. I'm going to make sure that they are on top of this so we don't have any more pollution spread. Because we've got quite a bit that got out before we set this up. And eventually we're going to start collecting this carbon. Well, this carbon dioxide. Okay, they finally got that one dug out. Get that one dug. Get that one dug. You know what? I think I missed. Yep. Let's set up a water cooler in here. In here, or... I'm going to see if it'll work in here. I'm not sure if it will since we've got a battery and these two stations. But we'll try it. So right now this is a laboratory. Now it's a miscellaneous room. If we add decor, this will become a recreation room. Which is more desirable? We've got a laboratory. Which just gives us more station use. Doesn't give us any sort of morale bonus. Recreation room. Wait. Yeah. I'd rather this be a recreation room than a laboratory, at least for now. And then we'll just add some granite in the corners. As far as light, it says it has a light source, but it's not sufficient to keep these lit. So if we add some ceiling lights, one here and one here, and then some more trim, that should be good. Now we need to wire up the lights. We need to fix this. These need to feed into this. So let's add a line like this for now. And then we'll cut this off. But this will tie in like this. Okay. Let's go ahead and get these out of the way. Construction 6. I'll at least get the lighting in place. And let's get the corners in place too. That way it becomes a recreation room sooner rather than later. All right, good deal. I haven't looked at research in a while. I've got basically the rest of the research we can perform right now until we get into materials usage, or what is it? Where is it? Yeah, material studies. Once we get this up and running using the, I'm assuming we're going to use the using the uranium, but I believe there's a limit to how much you can produce from that. And we only have this deposit. So what I tend to try and do is, if I can find it, break into a cold biome and collect wheezewort and use the radiation from wheezewort as a low-key rad bolt generator for material studies. G6. All right, so we've cleared out a good portion of the pollution in here. I'm probably going to leave this over here, but we may set up another ledge and airflow tile on this side temporarily to help clear out this corner. And then once that's done, we'll just tear it down again. Because I think once we have this cleared out, there's not going to be any more pollution generated in here. Especially once we start adding in the chlorine to this tank here. And do we have our germ sensors yet? Not for the plumbing. Not yet. We have it for gas pipes. No, we don't. That's element and thermo. Okay. So we haven't gotten to it yet. It should be coming up soon, though. Yeah, we've started down the medicine path finally. So we just finished pharmacology. We're into medical equipment 1. And then we'll unlock the germ sensors for both gas and liquid next. So that should be happening pretty quick. Well, once they're back to work. It's already 10 a.m. Got an hour left before I have to go pick up my daughter. She was a little depressed today. Her mom took her to cram school before she went to work, and one or both of them were running late. And for some reason, our daughter, she's not what we call, she's not a conventional student. She's an artist. She loves to create things similar to me. She just likes to work with her hands and just create things from random objects. So because of that, she's not a good or even she's not a bad student. She's just not a conventional student. And so we find it odd that she's always so excited to go to school every day, and that punctuality is so important to her. So it's really important that she gets to school on time, if not early. And for her, on time is early. It's a comfortable time before the first class school bell rings and classes start for the day. And I think it's because, she's also kind of an introvert like me, but she does have a couple of friends that are very, very important to her. And I think she wants to socialize with those friends at the beginning of the day before classes start, which I think is great. That's something I really didn't have when I was in school. I was largely alone until like 8th grade or so. Yeah, it was about 8th grade when I met Jason, who we both ended up moving to the same town the same year and starting school the same day together. And we both we wanted to try and make a friend in the new town right away. And not knowing that we were both new to the town, we thought we had both found somebody that, okay, so this person is talking. I mean, we seem to be getting along, so maybe they can help us adjust to this new town. And yeah, no, we were both kind of unfamiliar with everything, unfamiliar with the people and the other classmates in our class, and we just got to acclimate together. And that probably made us, much closer than we otherwise would have been, had it been the type of situation that we're striving for. But she's got a couple of friends that have been with her for a while. In Taiwan, you have a class that stays together for a couple of years at a time. You have the same teacher and the same body of students pretty much the entire time you're at a particular school. And the schools are blocked off around these arrangements. So your first and second grade years, you're with the same group of like probably around 20 kids, and you've got the same teacher. It may be more than a couple of years though. I think it's 3 or 4 years. So first to fourth grade, you've got one teacher, and then fifth and sixth, or maybe fifth, 5, 6, 7. Well, let me see. So I've seen her change schools twice and change teachers twice. So yeah, I think it is 4 years, 3 years, and then 2 and 3 or 3 and 2. It gets a little bit more complicated in high school. Or maybe it was 4 and 4. Actually, yeah, I think okay, so it's 4 years, 4 years, 4 years with the same teachers, same groups. And she's managed to stay with these same two friends across the last two class changes. So yeah, that's just in the school that she's in now, and then she's got some other friends that have kind of stayed with her, despite the fact that they're now in different schools with different teachers. But I like the education system here. I like how they focus on the students' comfort and the quality of their environment, because education here is so competitive as it is. These kids are going way out of their way. Yeah, why not? These kids are going way out of their way to stay ahead. Like I said, for summer break, we only have like 2 weeks of actual downtime where they don't have to go to cram school or occupational school or any other kind of extracurricular education-based obligation to remain competitive in their class. Now, Savita, our daughter, she's not so competitive that she's trying to remain at the top of her class. She's just trying to do well enough that she's able to pursue her elective studies more comfortably. So as long as she's staying on top of her normal class work, then she is free to pursue her electives on her own time without having to give up some time to refocus on any sort of subjects or class material that she is lacking in. Our son is a completely different matter. He's struggling mostly with English. And I'm not surprised, to be perfectly honest. I've heard him try to speak English, and it's not great. So he's the complete opposite. So he's he's taking summer courses again to repeat courses he didn't quite fail, but he scored so low that they compel him. It's not voluntary. It's compulsory, but he needs to take those classes over again to better his grade, to better his overall outlook going forward. And that's completely on him. That's his decision because he's chosen to go into physical therapy as a profession. And he's gotten into one of the best schools for that. Now, here in Taiwan, you have general education high schools, but you also have occupational high schools that will prepare you for certain fields if you already know which field you want to go into. And so he's in a pre-med high school here in Taiwan that will fast track him into a physical therapy. It's not a doctorate. It's going to be a nursing degree, but it's still in that field that he wants, and that cuts down his college work by a drastic margin. Like he'll have the foundation already established by the time he gets out of high school. But it is harder on him, and the requirements are larger for him than they are for our daughter. So that's created a challenge for him. But he's not complaining. I mean, he's not complaining too much, and he is putting in the work. I don't like that. He's retaking courses, 2 summers in a row. And it's the same course, but not the same exact course. It's the same. It's the next level of the course. But yeah, he's putting in the work. He's doing everything he needs to stay on top of it and succeed. I just like to see him succeed on the first try more often. That's just me. All right, we can speed this up, and this one, and then let's dig out this. We're in no rush to get the gas pump in place because it'll still be a while before we start to use it, and I'd rather not place that power consumption burden on this system just yet. What is the power threshold for this? We're only at 620, so we can afford a gas pump easy. Even after we add these to this pod and cut off the power reaching over from this side. All right, these lights are in place. The rec room is not in place. Okay, so no, this won't count as a rec room because it has the science stations. So what I think I'm going to do, so the printing pod is not an industrial building, right? Isn't there anything that tells you what an industrial building is? So those are the properties. Science building. Yeah, I'm assuming the science buildings are the only conflict, that the printing pod is not a conflict. So if we were to move this here and move this, let's place it here. How big does the laboratory have to be? Minimum 32. So it has to be to here. That's a little bit more space than I wanted to give over here on this side. So instead, I think we're going to need to upgrade you. Let's not commit to those just yet, because I think these are 32. They're 36. I like that. All right. Set you up there. Set you up. Yeah, we'll just set you up there. Wire you up. I think my son is making eggs. That's a problem. That's making me hungry. Okay. We'll want some lighting in there. I don't like digging out that oxalite until it's completely spent. So we're going to leave it like that for a minute. All right, Camille. Continue down your track. Okay. For some reason, live chat wasn't turned on. So I don't know if I missed any messages or not. I apologize if I did. Talking about YouTube, Twitch chat is fine. We've got a few people watching on Twitch, but nobody's talking, so which is normal for my streams. I don't know why. All right, how are we on food poisoning? We still have some muckroot in there. That is not ideal. Okay, but we're producing pickled meal and gristleberry. So I think we're to the point where we can focus our consumables. Let's remove meal lice. Let's remove meat. That's raw mushroom, right? There should be a cooked mushroom variant. You can eat uranium. Okay, this must be the stuff for the bionics. Okay, so that's good to know. They don't eat food, I'm assuming, but they do eat power banks. Metal, eco, and uranium. So that should be an interesting resource management mechanic. Okay. That's good for now. I'm tempted to turn off muck root. 15,000 out of 105,000. Yeah, we can turn off muck root. And we'll just use that as a resource for other things later. And that way we avoid consuming. I mean, there's not very many germs, but there's still some germs in there. All right. Let's speed this up over here. Okay. And for this construction, let's go ahead and all right, let's just try and get some, well, let's see, what do we need? We've got 3 diggers now. We probably use another rancher, even though we haven't really done a lot to get started on ranching yet. But I feel like we should do that sooner rather than later. So yeah, let's see if we can find a rancher. Farming, supplying, increased medicine, don't care, decreased decor, cannot do building errands. Let's try again. Farming, suit wearing, suit training, a digger and a builder, but building impaired. And we really want a rancher. We need to focus on that. So farming, +4, operating +6. Yokel and unconstructive. I feel like we can do better. Here we go, ranching, only +2. Research. Let's try some more. Ranching and building. Animal lover. Wow, I mean, this is kind of ideal. The small bladder's not great, but the symmetry between the interests and the traits is really nice. So yeah, I think we'll go with Frankie. All right, that's all the dupes we can accommodate right now. All right, let's focus on. No, we're focusing on way too many things right now. Let's just let them do their thing for a bit. We can speed up time though. Oh, there's some polluted oxygen in here too. I believe what I can do, we can get rid of that. And put in another deodorizer right there. And then focus on its operation. Hey, Nemicus. Playing RimWorld. Welcome to the stream. Invalid construction location. Okay. Still waiting for this oxalite to completely expend itself. It's down to 50 kilograms, so it's almost gone. Okay, we still have a vacuum. This is all sealed off now. G7. Okay, I think we have this well under control now. This should be able to keep this nice and clean. I think this will kind of work itself out. These have already worked themselves out, even without adding the deodorizer over here. Like I said, we'll just leave this one in place over here because dupes don't go through here that often. Clear those out. And so now that should read as a lavatory or a latrine, yep. And then once we have our purification in place, our sterilization in place, then we can start upgrading that to a full-on washroom. Oh, Frankie, we forgot to give you your first. Let's get you started down the ranching track. And Mima. You've already pretty much finished your interests. Got a little bit of opportunity left, but not so much that we need to commit to it. I think we're going to leave her where she's at right now to fulfill her current duties, and then we can expand into new fields later when we have plenty of morale. Okay, that is out of the way. we got oxygen in here somehow. All right. So we're going to purge that up here. I think it's got some food poisoning. What happened? How did that get in here? I have no idea what I did wrong. We're going to output here and see if that can clear up some of it, but that food poisoning is going to be a little bit of a nuisance. Yeah, up to 800 germs. I already have some out here, so all right, did I cut it off? I cut it off, okay. All right, we'll clear out the oxygen, polluted oxygen real fast, and then that's not ideal. But these things happen. I'm not knocking it too badly. I just a little bit extra work. Okay, so once we crack into this first chlorine deposit, we're going to have to be really careful that we don't break into the steam vent side too quickly. We want to make sure that that remains isolated so we can completely seal it off by the time we get to this second pocket. And then there's a third smaller pocket down here. Okay, that's just sand. That's good. I thought we were going to have to clear out this abyssalite to get to this bleach stone here, but it's not bleach stone. Okay. Eat some more nuts. And then we're ready to start collecting our first chlorine. Well, once they insulate that last tile. But we do have to wait for it to finish clearing out all this. We're already down to micrograms. Or milligrams. Milligrams. Okay. Do I have the advanced pumps mod? Doesn't look like it. That's unfortunate. I liked the little vacuum mod. Unless it's part of something else. Oh, okay, we do have it. It's under power for some reason. But we need material study before we can crack into it. That'll probably be the first thing we crack into, though, so let's go ahead and queue it up. 19. Does that mean there's 18 other things before this? Probably. Weren't we already at 17 or 20? Are they not researching at all? Yeah, I might need to keep an eye on that. I really want to find the cold biome. Looks like we have a trace here we can follow through between these. We can try and expand this way, see what else is up here. But it looks like it's not too warm. Here's the edge over here. Don't quite see an edge over here yet. Okay. This phosphorite's really cold for some reason. But that won't do us any good. All right, let's dig up here first. Wow. That was awful. All right. God, it's 10:42 already. So I got about 18 minutes left of the stream. I don't have to pick up my daughter until 11:30. But there's been a lot of construction around our building today. And yesterday I was 15 minutes late. Thankfully, she says she didn't, but my wife told me the wrong time to pick up our daughter. So even though I was 15 minutes late, I was actually still 15 minutes early because I was shooting for 11 a.m. instead of 11:30 a.m. Kind of bummed that the stream went so quickly today. All right. We have to wait for this to clear out. So let's finish this. Let's just prioritize all of this. Get this laboratory up and running so we can clear out this and get this rec room established. Thought about putting in some massage tables in here, but I don't want to compete. I want this to be a rec room item, rec room centric building. Actually, we would need to put something like this in here to make this a great hall. We got these 4 plus this space, so five lanes we can use towards seems weird to have a sauna in a great hall. But I don't want to be closed-minded. Arcade cabinet seems appropriate. .2 kilowatts. Wait, is that its power consumption or is it? So if we look at like a gas pump. Yeah, 240 watts, so 1.2 kilowatts. Seems like a lot for an arcade cabinet. Maybe it's not in the grand scheme of things and in the interest of game balance, but it just seems like a lot. Like, it makes me, as an engineer, want to design a better arcade cabinet for this game that's more efficient. But maybe that's not in the spirit of Oxygen Not Included. But I'm already doing things in this playthrough that are not in the spirit of Oxygen Not Included. These insulated self-sealing airlocks are a little cheesy. I mean, I've made them more expensive, so they're not replacements for manual airlocks that just happen to seal the room that they're attached to. They are more costly and otherwise more strategic in their influence to the game, so that you don't just use them everywhere. They're slower than manual airlocks for one. They're more expensive to create than manual airlocks. But I prefer this to using little drops of liquid to create to create atmospheric barriers that should not be possible in a more realistic physics environment. Excuse me. Abe, our cook, is also our farmer. We can get him into a little bit of ranching as well. And that's what this room is going to be. It's going to be a first ranch. We're just going to collect all the hatches in there for the time being, but eventually the hatches will go in their own habitat, a simpler habitat, probably a long ways habitat. Let's see. So they'll be in something like this. Okay. And I set that priority for 1. That's just there to show us what we'll be focusing on later. But I want to create this one first. Get it ready for any geckos. Not geckos. What were they? Dracos? Oh, I need to finish that battery too. All right. I've got everything produced. We can deconstruct. And then once that battery's up and running, where did... you'll do. Aha! Don't mind me. Ah, that's good stuff. All right, 10 minutes left. Let's get this done. Get somebody on there sooner rather than later. All right, this should now be a rec room. Yay! And it does give a morale bonus. Oh, the water cooler was never set up. I guess because it was never officially in a rec room. All right, we got another skill point for Joshua. We can continue him down the farming track. I don't know why we established a rocket pilot so quickly. It's still going to be a while before they are viable. They have a viable mission. Oh, we never put in that final wiring. We had it, but then we removed it when we decided to let that oxalite burn out before we built there. All right. Get you completed quickly. Let's up the research priority so that maybe we get caught up on our research more quickly. Okay, we can't really afford any more dupes right now. So let's just get some simple copper. I'd love to start getting into husbandry for some of these new creatures. But the last thing I want to do is bring on a creature that has an extreme resource requirement or otherwise has some other sort of mitigating factors that you want to account for that I'm not prepared for. Especially considering I'm at cycle 72 and I haven't really broken into the mid-game yet. Uh-oh. There it goes. I'm really interested in, finding out what the Fox can do. Yeah, let's just get the copper. All right, so we have our laboratory. We've got a couple of barracks, got a greenhouse, a recreation room, a mess hall. This will probably become we'll figure out how to make this a great hall without using a 1.2 kilowatt arcade cabinet. Give me a jukebox. 960 watts. That's horrible. Party line, 120 watts. That's not bad. Oh, and it doesn't need. Let's check it out. Let's see what happens. Now, eventually, we'll have party lines on all of our planets, and dupes will be able to communicate with each other across distance. But for now, it's just kind of a placebo. They can still use it. It's just they're talking to imaginary friends at this point. But that's good. That should give us a great haul. No. I think I need decor items. Okay, we got the recreational building. We need decor items, and we need a fancy decor item. So by a fancy decor item, I believe... Okay, we're going to try the sculpting block. But we don't have an artist yet. Oh, we do. Okay. Just got a few minutes left. Frankie's going to get into farming. Operating, farming, ranching, and building. That's good. Looks like you have some ranching in your blood. I hear somebody making a call, yeah. F11. Mess hall. Still a mess hall. Great hall. Fancy decor item. Maybe this becomes fancy once it's completed. Let's see if we can get that done before we have to sign out. I don't think it's going to happen though. We've got 2 minutes left, but we'll speed up time just in case. Let's see if we got an artist to come back and take care of that. Okay, I don't like that this stair is incomplete as well. So we're going to up the ante there. Okay, now we're into the micrograms. So we can start collecting chlorine soon. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get anybody in here to sculpt this block. Our artist is not keen enough yet. Where's our artist? Who's our artist? Mima. Let's prioritize. All right. No joy on the sculpting block. Mima never came. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Come on, Mima. What are you doing? Mima. Okay, research. Supply, build, store copper, build, construction, supply. Yep, it's not going to happen. All right, that's it for today. I gotta go pick up my daughter. Oh. We finally got vacuum here, so let's go and fix that up before I forget. Cut you off. Now, if we really wanted to do this right, we would if we really wanted to do this right, we would add a filter that would isolate any chlorine and send it down here and then send the rest up to this purge valve. So we're going to keep this in place here. We're not going to delete it. But we're not going to grab a filter just yet or create a gas filter just yet. I want to, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be here permanently. I think this is just here to grab this. And then once we have that on this side, I think our inputs will be at the top and the bottom of the base rather than left or right. Although we might have something over here. I don't know if we'll need chlorine for it, but it probably wouldn't hurt. I mean, yeah, we'll want to have a chlorine tank over here, if not a filter. Yep. But I do need to go. It's after 11. My daughter gets out of cramp school at 11:30, and then, yeah, I'll probably take her to lunch before we come home. But that's it for now. Thanks you so much for watching. Yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, and or follow whichever platform you see us on. If you like this content, be sure to check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Arcagus. If you're interested in more streams, we stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night Western time, which is actually Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning, my time. And yeah, I usually play strategy games, play some Elden Ring. I was playing Dune Awakening a lot, but just logistics-wise, haven't been able to play it the last couple of streams, either because they were updating my server, or today I just had a long client update that wasn't going to get done in time by the time the stream had to start. So, yeah, but that's it. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, you guys be safe. I keep talking to the wrong camera. Alright, so quit to desktop, save and quit. And say goodbye.